Hmm. So you're interested in the Dominican Citizenship by Investment program, right? Well, maybe because you have heard a pro, and you have heard a family of yours and a friend. Maybe it was by Googling the citizenship by investment, and Dominican Republic just pop out of the first or one of the first in the line. Well, this video is for you. It's made for you. It's meant to made for you because out there is many websites and YouTubers that I have many information that have been misunderstood or are misinformation in the line. So in this case, let me first of all, if you whether or not you know about Dominican Republic, let me give you a glance about it before to dive it in, and then we're going to see step by step on the whole process and how here in Massary we can help you out with it. So let's dive in. So Dominican Republic allows foreign investors to have and get the Dominican citizenship through investment. This is a program that Dominican Republic have made from the last 25 years since now. It was done in the early 2000 by the President Hipólito Mejia, in which he took taking care about the investors' interest here to get the to be involved more in the country, and in order to increase the foreign direct and investments in Dominican Republic. So this is one of the tools that the Dominican government push this bill in order to make this happen for you. So what is Dominican Republic exactly right now? We're talking that Dominican Republic is, for you that doesn't know what is the Dominican Republic, and maybe it was ChatGPT who brought you here. In this point, Dominican Republic is one of the two countries that share the Hispaniola island in the Great Antilles, or Antillas Mayores in Spanish, we call it. So this country is, or we are, in terms of population, we are around 10.8 to 11.5 million inhabitants, with a median age of around 29 years old. Relatively young, right? So, or young enough, let's say. And life expectancy for about 65 on average, female and male. And with a political system of representative democracy, with the president, vice president, Congress. We have local governments. You see, parties. We have many parties, which is the BRM, or Revolutionary, Partido Revolucionario Moderno. The Modern Revolutionary Party is the leading one, followed by the People's Strength, Fuerza del Pueblo, and then the Liberty Party, which is PLD, Dominican Liberty Party, which is PLD, PLD. And the economy, in terms of economy, Dominican Republic is actually a economy led by the services sector, with the tourists as the head of the leading indicators in the GDP, followed by construction, infrastructure, manufacturing, free zone, and many others like finance services and other services. So we are among the highest and faster economies in the Caribbean and Latin America. So the thing is for us that Dominican Republic is one of the most resilient economies in the Caribbean and Latin America, and we have a very stable political system, society too, and that's it in a nutshell. Dominican Republic is a country in which you can find reliance in the economic resilience. Also, you can find the the government is always pushing for a increment or growing in terms of law and benefits for doing business. Like we have many incentives here for tax exoneration, like Confotur. We have also another like, for example, the free zone trade. We have economic agreements with some countries. United States is the main one. And among these all benefits, Dominican Republic allows the foreign investors to interested in gaining the second citizenship or third, whatever you may allow. We are the one of the programs that brings you ease in this term. So going back to how to acquire it, how to be a Dominican citizen. Okay, well, because okay, Ahmed, Orlando, Ahmed, how can I apply for it? What are the steps according to the now 2025 December 2025? Because maybe onward could be changes, but right now so far this is how it is. You have two steps. The first step is to get the residency by investment. This is the first residence by investment, which means that you may have the ability or the you may have the uh, let's call it the possibility to gain the Dominican resident, the permanent Dominican resident by investment. This is one step. The second, it is the with the going to the directorate after you get this residency. You have to apply. It could be within 6 to 9 months or to up to 2 years. It depends on the case, your migration case. So we'll dive into it in a few minutes. Don't worry about it. So right now, this is a two-step. First, get the residency by investment, and secondly, to apply for the naturalization of your immigrant status. So let's check out the first one. For the first one, you have to understand that here you can get the Dominican residency by investment by the next or following details. For example, first of all, you have to have the minimum required amount of $200,000, $200,000, which means that you can apply. If you have this, then you're good to go. But this is a minimum. Take into account, because you have another costs like, for example, the costs for the setup, the costs for the setup a company, or the taxes that you have to pay, and the consultation that you have to pay, and the travel, your food, your 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 housing, whatever, whichever the option you go, this is it. So in terms for this to be, the first requirement is this. Second, of course, you will have the family integrate. Are you married? You have children? You have your wife or your husband that you want to bring them here? Of course, you can apply. Don't worry, but you have to apply first, and then you make the whole process for them. So for all of this, you have to take this little details into account. So you can do this process as follow. Once you decide, let's say you say, okay, Ahmad, I'm ready. Orlando, I'm ready. Let's go. My name is Orlando Ahmad. You can call me Orlando or Ahmad, whichever name you want to take. No problem. And you say, okay, let's go into this program. What do I have to do? Okay. So now the first is to identify what are your investment interests. For example, you have two types. Your investment can translate into two types of, first of all, real estate, which means you can buy a house, you can buy a an apartment, you can buy a land, you can buy let's say a business premises. You can buy even a already an ongoing business. Also, you can buy it for sure. And that the minimum thing is it should be 200. And one point here it is that you have to you can do it either personal, let's say for your own at your own name, or you can do it for a company of yours. That's it. That you can do it for a company. I mean, the real estate one, you can do it for the company. That's it. Second option, you can go through open a company or invest in an ongoing company too, which means that, for example, you find a company, let's say we have companies that we can provide, or we have a portfolio that we can provide for you and show you all around. Depends on your goals. First of all, we can have a kickoff meeting, for free, 15 minutes, 35 minutes, as much 35 minutes at the beginning, and then we set up the whole process for you, just to get to know each other. And we present you the the plan, the whole plan, with everything in detail for you to understand every step. Of course, it could be a long email, or but if you have any inquiries or any questions, you can go into the email, ask them, or call us and we can answer, or write to us through WhatsApp or whatever you want to contact us. Up to you. It's up to you, my dear. So you have these two types again: in real estate, or investing the 200K or more into an existing company or a brand new one. So the thing is, I always in here, and we in Massary, we suggest our investors to come over Dominican Republic for a week, 15 days, whatever time you want to spend here in Dominican Republic, just because for you guys to see the environment, you see, to understand before you even take this into your decisions, before you deposit the money, before you go and collect the documentation, everything, before everything, we suggest you to come here. For that reason, it is because our expertise told us that many investors that they don't come here, sometimes they don't understand the society, or they don't like the, let's say, some type of or regulation or something. They don't understand it wholly. So come over. We can help you out with all the setup. We can provide for you a driver, a car, our advice on whether which area or not you can move. It depends on the city. For example, Punta Cana is one side, you have another in Samaná, you have another in Puerto Plata, here in Santo Domingo. You see, depending on the city, depending on your needs, on your goal, you see, what do you want? We can help you out with this, the whole process. Of course, we can guide you into this. First of all, we want to take care of your money, your investment. That's why we are suggesting you to come over Dominican Republic, experience the Dominican way, and then you can decide here everything. And in between, we can set up good meetings. We can take you to some banks where, for example, we can take you to one bank to another. I don't want to make names right now. Yeah, because I don't want them to zoom me, you understand, right? So the thing is, after all this process, you come here, we talk in person, we guide you in person, you saw the city, the country, you like it, and you say, take me in, we're gonna push it. They say, okay. So after we have set up every documentation and the process with you, and you agree upon the fees, you agree upon the process and everything, we sign the contracts or the agreements, and we proceed with you with the collecting of the documentation. This documentation is actually the first step, because we have to create your investor's profile file. Why? Because within this profile, we can set up a good documentation presented to Pro Dominicana, and the process will be much easier for us. Of course, the government can ask us for, one document to another, you see, so this is up to them. And this is if they find something or they want to clarify something. Okay, this is up to them, and it is not so common, but it could happen. So we're giving you this advice. Be aware that this could be happen. It's not our fault. It's not your fault. It's just government officials that they want to make sure some information out there. That's it. But in mostly of the cases, they don't even ask. They just, follow the process. So the first one, we have the meeting, collect the documentation, create your profile. We create your user, your account into Pro Dominicana. Pro Dominicana, for those who doesn't know, is the in Dominican government institution to provide and promote the Dominican Republic investment environment to the foreign investor like yours. So within this, they are the first step because they are going to give you this certification of investor or investor certification, whatever you want to say. The thing is, they take this, we present them the files, and meanwhile, we're doing this, right? We give you or we create you a second copy, which you are going to take with you. And this copy, you're going to deliver it to your country of origin or your country of residency for about the last 5 years, up to 5 years. Which means that, for example, you are originally from, let's say, Canada, but you are resident of Mexico, just to be close, very near from the Dominican Republic. You understand, right? Not so far, but if you are far anyway, so okay, let's go. So you guys go to Mexico and deposit to our consulate over there all the process and request or make the inquiry for them to grant you with the investment visa status. Why? This investment visa, it will be required later by the last step, which is the Directorate of Migration. So after Directorate of Migration, so after you are being granted with the certificate of investor and with the visa of investor, you come back to the Dominican Republic. We get a copy of this entrance that you have made here. We collect this copy along with another documents for us to make your appointment, because you have to go to the immigration office and they have to take you some the health test and everything. So they take you all of this and they will give to you, the final documentation. If everything is okay, then they do not require another documentation, as we told you previously. Everything goes fine, all the documents are good, so the process will be quicker. Okay, so after getting this, but before going to the second step, Orlando, Ahmad, tell me something. How long it will take this first step? Okay, my dear investor, let me tell you that this whole process of Pro Dominicana, the consulate, and the what's the name? Oh, and Directory of Migration, it will take you around, let's say, Pro Dominicana can take from 45, 50 days up to 120, something like that. It could be less, could be more, but just giving you, according to how they behave and how many documents they ask. Usually are 60, 50, but I'm giving you the whole timeline just for you to give you an idea. The minimum 45 or 50 and the maximum could be 120, something like that. Secondly, the consulate could answer you within 60 days, something like that. And the Director of Migration, the same, 60 to 90 days, something like that. So we're talking about 6 to 8 months, maybe. This is the time meanwhile we are going, back and forth, and it depends on the you'll be doing live here in Dominican Republic, because this is all about that you are going to invest in Dominican Republic and you want to be here in Dominican Republic, let's say alive, be part of the Dominican society and economy. Okay, so this is the first step. Then second step, which is the the one who took you up until here, it is the naturalization and getting the passport, which means that you'll become Dominican citizen. So for this, that you'll become a Dominican citizen, it's very easy. You have two types. Okay, now you have the permanent residency by investment already. Congratulations, we have done so far here. You have company, or you have an income, or it depends, you have your own apartment to live in, you see, so it doesn't matter. And you have your residency full. Now the next step is follow. Okay, it depends on whether you have been doing previously live here in Dominican Republic, which means previously of obtaining this residency. In other words, if you have been here in Dominican Republic for longer time before switching to with another residency status, before taking the residency by investment, 2 3 years, something like that, around this time, and then you switch from the temporary resident to the permanent resident by investment. Okay, you change your status, then you can apply to the Dominican citizenship. You understand, right? So I will clarify again, because I want to make this whole point clear. Many investors have told us before that, okay, but it's true that I can get the Dominican citizenship after doing this program of residency by investment in within 6 months. And we tell them yes, but the key point here is that you have to prove that you have been living in Dominican Republic previously and doing businesses previously to that for a long, let's say 2 or 3 years. That's it. If you can prove this, and we can collect all the documentation that proves it, and gather it with all the with your file, then it will be easy for us to show this to Directorate of Migration that you are an investor here, but also that you have been here since 2 or 3 years back, and now you change your status, and then you are just asking them for to giving you the Dominican citizenship, which allows you and makes the things easier for us to this. You understand, right? But normally this is not the case. Normally the case is you that are watching right now our video, and you say, okay, I got the information, I want to apply for this program. But what happens, you are first time traveling to Dominican Republic, experiencing the Dominican way, so you have to wait. In your case, you have to wait for 2 years, and after 2 years you can apply for it. In other words, your permanent residency, you have to renew it, because it is 1 year renewal. So you have to renew it 1 year, and then the second year renewing, you apply for the citizenship, and within 6 to 8 months, you will become Dominican citizen. That's it. In a nutshell, guys, if you are looking for second citizenship in the one of the biggest and fastest economies in the Caribbean and Latin America zone or area, and you have heard for Dominican Republic before, you want to invest, also you want to make a life in Dominican Republic, this is just a simple video guiding you to whole process in order for you to not be scammed, This is first thing. I don't want any investor to be a scam. No, 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 no. This is not good. For any country in the world, which you go, you find good people, bad people. Fortunately for here, mostly of Dominicans, we are uh, well behavior and we try to be trustful, but unfortunately also we have many others that they have scam investors in the past and in the future, and meanwhile we're talking right now or you're watching my video. But in this case, that's why we are providing you with all information that you can, here in the link in the box below this video. You will find every links repository for the original sources that you can go and check. You just can use the Google Translator, and Google Translator will do some job, let's say, because sometimes it failed to translate something good. So in this case, we are willing to work with you, and we hope that this information you will find it interesting and you will find it hopeful and helpful for you and your process. We are willing and we'd like to help you out with this whole process. Not even this, we provide the economic and the financial advisor and consultation. So feel free and don't hesitate to contact us at this link that is being shown here, www.almasari.com/contact, or either you can go to our Instagram or TikTok, give us a DM, and we'll be ready to answer all your questions and provide you with the excellent service that you will feel and experience the Dominican way. Hopefully, to get you soon here. Don't worry, take care, and see you on the next time. Bye bye.